Whew, we're gonna get super personal on this one because we just have to. I feel like there's no other way to talk about this subject without giving details on why I'm making these choices. And like I always say, all kids, all parenting techniques are different and unique, and there is no one right way. And so these are just things that as of right now, I believe to be true. I always think people are growing and evolving as a person, and so I am open to these things changing. But these are things that I believe I am not going to do as a parent. Number one is gonna be the most personal, so let's just get it out of the way. I'm kind of nervous to talk about this. It is sleepovers. Now, with every rule, I feel like there are exceptions, but statistically and from my own personal experience, at sleepovers, unfortunately tend to be where abuse, physical, sexual abuse can occur. Now, of course, on the other hand, I don't want my pain to limit the activities of my child. I just want to learn from my painful experience and how to best protect my child moving forward. And so with the no sleepovers, I will have exceptions. I feel like if the child is in a very comfortable, safe environment at home and they feel like they don't have pressure to keep their parents happy, they can come to their parents with difficult and painful topics. They also have the ability and knowledge and youthful maturity to discuss what is going on. They have the proper terms for different body parts between male and female and what is right and wrong. And with all of this and open communication and discussions in a safe environment, I am not opposed to sleepovers. But I feel like all of this would have to be in line for me to feel totally safe that my child is protected. And yeah, that is my number one and why. Number two, and it kind of vibes off number one, but it is giving incorrect names for body parts. I already catch myself doing this, saying things like hoo-ha. I don't know why. It just, I don't know, when you see a child, you don't want to use these stark, blunt words, but you really need to. And so I've been already catching myself and just teaching, you know, correct anatomical body part names. Also just kind of gets rid of the sense of shame that can be around what is a natural body. Number three, and honestly, this still kind of vibes off number one, but it is, I never want my child to feel like they define my happiness. Obviously, when you have a child, they are your whole world. They are everything. They are the light of your life. But I never want a child to feel like they have to be perfect. They can't come to their parent with mistakes because they are in charge of their parent's happiness. They have to stick with a sport or a class that they don't love because the parent loves that class or that sport. Their happiness is your happiness. Their mistakes and flaws and tragedies will not wither you away. You are strong. Having a life outside of parenthood, I feel like just kind of naturally lets the child know that you have things of your life that make you happy. I feel like this even goes to when a child is older and leaving for college and they can have guilt leaving their family and suddenly they're empty nesters. I want my child to grow and blossom into adulthood without feeling like I have nothing left around me. I want them to know that I'll be okay and I have things within my life that make me happy, but deep down, my child is my entire world. I live and die by her happiness and joy, but also everything else I just said. Number four, put restraints on how my child wants to express themselves. Now, I feel like this can go down so many different paths. For example, I think my mom did a really great job of allowing me to pursue any dream, passion, style that I wanted to, especially in my high school years when you're really kind of navigating this time of coming into slight adulthood and finding yourself. Even when I started my YouTube channel in high school, she was like, this is so innovative, so creative. I love to see what you do with this as long as it makes you happy. I am your biggest cheerleader. I'm so happy my mom allowed me to do this young because I went into my 20s just so confident and willing to do things that a lot of other people were scared of because she placed such confidence in me being whoever I wanted to be. Number 5, I will never let my child feel forced to finish their meal, or will I never use food as a reward. I will never use words like a cheat meal. I feel like, again, my mom did a really amazing job of this in my youthful years of just showing me abundance of healthy food, really having that within the home. But then also, like, we'd go to McDonald's and it was never like a big cheat thing. I never felt like I had a lack of control around food. And again, there are so many different components to eating disorders, but I feel like a big one is if somebody doesn't feel like they have control over their food or over their life. Went through the majority of my life with a really healthy relationship with food, except I would say like after my divorce. I struggled a little bit through stress, but other than that, truly, I feel like I am one of the few women I know. Prior to my slight recent struggle, I never struggled with food, eating, body image, anything of that nature, and I truly feel like it was these things my mom did. Number 6, I will not allow my child to live a life that is not consistent, scheduled, and routine, which is so funny coming from me because this was so not me before parenthood, but I really see how much a child thrives with consistency. It really builds security and confidence within themselves, and now that I do that for my child, I've been doing that for myself, and it has been game-changing. And I know with life there's only so much you can control, and I'm sure there are going to be so many things that are going to be thrown at me, but I will do my best to keep things consistent, routine, and scheduled to create that sense of safety and security. People ask why I'm so strict on sleep routine and nap routine and wake windows and all of those things. And that's because I've already had a big life thing thrown at me, which is, divorce and co-parenting. And I feel like with that, change back and forth already, I want to control the things I can keep consistent. And I feel like that's a big thing that made my child feel safe and secure with this, change, even though she was so young. So these are just things I keep in mind moving forward. Number 7, I will not force my child to have the same beliefs that I do, be it political, religious, whatever it may be. Of course, I'm gonna share my knowledge, personal experience, and wisdom I've had throughout the years. If they find that something I don't believe them brings them peace and happiness, then by all means, they can follow that journey for themselves. Number 8, force physical contact with anyone, even be it family. This could be a hug, a kiss, that they don't owe anyone physical touch or love. They need to do things that make them feel safe and comfortable. And then also when they do give that hug and that kiss to the family member, it's because they feel safe, comfortable, they want to, and it has a lot more meaning. And this does not pertain to things like thank you, please, you're welcome. These are things that should be given, but physical things that involve your body are up to you and they should be respected. Number 9, I will not avoid answering personal questions. Now, obviously, I'm already someone that shares a lot. I word vomit, but I think having that rapport with a child where they feel safe to ask you a question without getting in trouble or judged is very important, and starting that early on can really have an effect as they get older. Can I give an example? There was one time in high school, I asked a family member, I'm not gonna call them out, but about drugs and if they had ever done it. And they did share an experience quotes from when they were in high school, and they tried a very popular hallucinogen in the 70s. I'm sure you can guess what it is. And I was given a very honest recap in detail of their experience, of, you know, the funny moments, but also the scary moments. And getting that honest communication and story from a family member I trust, I felt like I had lived that story so well. It was such a good story. I wish I could share it. But I had lived it through them that I felt like I never needed to try it. And to this day, I have never tried an hallucinogen. To each, you know, their own. Take what I'm saying with a grain of salt. This is just like my personal experience, and you know, if your personal morals and values skew way differently, then a story like that might not be in line for you. But still, I feel answering some difficult questions and having a safe space for communication early on is important. You don't have to tell your hallucinogen story. But it did work, and I remember that story so well. It is so funny. I'll ask the person if I can tell it one day. Number 10, I will never let my child grow up. I couldn't think of a firm, solid one for number 10, and I just felt like 9 felt a little weak, so I went with 10. Obviously, I'm going to let my child grow up. That is the end goal when raising a little human. Now that my child is getting older and I'm out of sleep deprivation phase, and suddenly I'm having a little human talking and picking up on things so quickly that my head has just went towards the future, and I'm like, oh my God, it's just not like a little baby anymore I have to keep alive. It's now a little human that I have to prepare to live and thrive in society. I have to help them build and learn self-love and self-confidence. I have to help them explore the world safely. It is just, whew, it's a lot. All I'm doing at this point is taking it one day at a time. And I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope that you enjoyed my list. And again, I hope you don't take anything what I say, you know, this is it, this is what you have to do, I'm totally right, because I'm totally that person that will accept when I'm wrong. And I definitely have times that I am wrong. As always, I think of you guys like my mom community, my friends, and I'm talking to you like I would talk to my friends, and I, you know, always want this to be a safe place, not only for me, but in the comments down below. So if somebody, you know, differs from what I'm saying or has a different opinion, I am all for people having different opinions than me. We are not all built the same. We are not raising the same human. And so you can 100% rightly have a different opinion. But I wanted to give mine. I wanted to give the reasons why. And again, they might change. Who knows? Life is always throwing curveballs at me. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a big thumbs up, and I will see you next Monday. Bye!